So this is meant to be a little overview of Google Classroom along with Polypad for solving linear equations. Now, what you're going to see here is kind of the teacher version. The student version looks a little different, and I'll explain the differences as we go through it. The first difference here for Math 8.1 Classroom is I've turned off the Google Meet code whenever class is not scheduled, and I turn it back on before class shows up. So the Google Meet code will come live and be visible about 10 to 15 minutes before class starts, and then I turn it off immediately afterwards. On the stream section as well, every day I post what is meant to be finished. Now I'm calling it homework, but really it's just stuff that wasn't finished in class or things we may have done in class that needs to be done. So it's a little summary. The classwork section is where you're going to find like kind of the copies of assignments and practice questions and videos. And I've organized that like I've done all year by unit. And we're in Unit 6, Linear Relations. So there's a lot of things here under Unit 6 because it's basically been our home base since we went to e-learning. And you can see all the way back to May 3rd was right around the time we went to the e-learning phase. There's some instructional videos here that are good to watch. There are videos that I recorded previously that kind of walk through using Polypad and solving equations. So there's two there on May 13th. There's also one here that was posted on May 19th. And then a series of videos here that I didn't make, but are pretty informative as well. So that'll kind of fill in some gaps with solving equations. The rest of it are either practice questions or homework questions that students have done in class and outside of class time. So I'll pull one up here that is a Polypad. Now this looks a little different on mine because I'm using the teacher version. On the student version, you won't be able to see this. It'll just be the assignment. So you would click on the assignment and it would open up and take you to this screen. This is a Polypad canvas that I had previously created and assigned. So on this side, for this particular question, you would be expected to model with algebra tiles, and then on this side you would be using just straight algebra, solving with numbers and symbols. Same question. So the thing that needs to be done here first is you got to make sure you are logged in up here under your GNSPES profile. It may log you in right away if you're already signing in from the classroom, or you may just need to sign in with Google using your GNSPES information. That's all there. Now over here we have, you will see a library tab where you're going to have all your canvases that you were working on. And here we have our tiles tab, which has a whole bunch of different tools that we can use. But for solving algebraic equations, we're mostly just using these algebra tiles. There's a balance under that as well, but we're using the tiles. In grade 8, we don't use x squared or negative x squared. It's just x or negative x, 1 and negative 1. So to do a quick example here, we'll model this equation. So negative 2, we'll put a negative 2 up here, and you can drag them out, is equal to 3x. And you can drag this 3x out here. Is 3x subtract 5, and then this subtract 5 we would model with a negative 5. Because subtracting 5 is the same as saying adding negative 5 in this case. Now the goal here, and you can watch those previous videos, would be to work this down to solve for x. Now those instructions are in the previous videos that were posted in the classroom. Over here with, if we're going to solve that with algebra, there are other tools we can use. So down here on the bottom, we can see that there's a drawing tool. So we got a little pencil, a marker, a highlighter. So I'm going to use the pencil, and you can draw on here. So if we wanted to say, okay, so I need to put in the opposite of subtract 5, I'm going to add 5 to each side. So you could draw it on here. So I kind of did that fast and messy. Or you could put a text box as a sentence. So you could put that up here and you could type letters in, and you can increase the font size if you wanted to. Or you can, I'll get rid of that now, or you can put it as an equation which shows up a little neater. Let's say you can use different letters and symbols, and then after you click out of it you can increase the font size as well. So it takes a little bit of practice to play around with a little bit, but it is quite useful, especially in the e-learning phase of things here. Now, to turn this in, let's say you work through all this and you're happy with the result. You would go to the library tab up here, and yours would say save copy. So you would save a copy. So that saves it to your profile. So even if you didn't, you wanted to come back and access it later, you could. Then you would come on over here to this other toolbar, and you're going to click on this share or embed, and you're going to copy the link. So if you copy this link, that means we can paste it into our classroom. So at this point, after you've copied the link, you would go back to your classroom. You would open up your assignment, and there's a little blue turn in button. Right above that, there's a spot where you can, a little plus sign where you can attach a link, and you would paste that link in there, and then you would turn it in. I know it seems like there's quite a few steps there, but after you do it once or twice, it seems to come a lot easier to kids. So again, you would save copy. You would then copy this link. You would then come back to the classroom, open up the assignment, click the plus sign above turn in, paste the link, and then you're going to click turn in, so that would show up in the turn in folder. Okay, so ideally I would have 25 students turned in and none that would be deemed assigned. So hopefully that kind of helps you through using Polypad. And if you have any questions about any of these assignments, please let me know.